Hello, good afternoon. I went to see Wuthering Heights in the wee hours of the working morning. The 11:50 show in the heart of downtown Toronto. It's premium Toronto. It's a beautiful neighborhood with stores. Toronto's Rodeo Drive had actually fewer stores. This has and it's all also accessible by subway and not that expensive, of course, as is to be expected. And I picked up a pair of Michael Kors indoor slippers. Indoor slippers. So let me just show you. All right, this is a wide angle. No, I'm not coming in on. No, all right. Let's see. Farther I go, farther. No, I have a wide angle camera lens, which would be very nice for a discussion. But all right, some other time. Some of the night. Maybe I'll request uh, um, and this hair clip and a couple of really good, non-fiction books from a gift card given by a friend and family friend, and the husband and wife, and so this is a French clip, and I've done my hair up in a braid, and all right. So Wuthering Heights did not disappoint me. My husband had warned me and said that it's going to be a letdown. That's what all the critics said, and I beg to differ with the critics. Okay, so this we'll have to go into the. This might be better inside my brain. So I just twirl around once, and then just to show you my hair clips and my French hair clip, and that's the going back. It did not disappoint me, and I found it quite in true to the original story, Emily Brandt's story, and the moors, so windy and beautiful. That was all beautifully depicted. Scenes the director has gone to know. Actually, while the credits were rolling, I had drunk so much water, so I had to hit the washroom. So and yeah, and I had blueberry chocolate. So I really didn't see the director, but who the director is. But the actors, of course, Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi, and so they were both stunning. Good-looking people fit the role, and and so there are a couple of auditions which are very unless it's included in the unabridged version. The scriptwriter has done a marvelous job from gathering, because I was looking through the book. I've read it a few times, I think. Once during my school days, because it was my grandfather's favorite, and I thought my grandfather, who had six daughters, and his seventh one, who died, was also seventh baby, was also a baby girl. So with six daughters and loving wife, and who had herself become an invalid during her later years, and this sort of book was romance in his life. Yeah, and I shed a few tears. It's not a bad angle. If you have to stay faithful to your significant other, it's not a bad idea to kind of get romance from these books. So the director has, and I won't spoil the movie for you. So there's a lot more in the movie, but just Zilla. There's a mention of Zilla and Joseph, and as Joseph is partial to the scriptures, and the movie begins with a hanging, and despite the cruelty, maybe it's justice being served, and a couple of are shown kissing, all right after the hanging. And I'm thinking that was Joseph and Zilla, and it's brought in, cleverly woven into the whole movie. The rest of it, and of course, the hero and heroine are the main actors in the plot, and of course, the other actors in the drama, the Edgar Litton and his sister Isabella Litton, who's his ward in this movie. And anyways, so now I did not want to dwell on the art, aptness of the cinematography of the Moors, because English Moors, because we live on the East Coast. But somebody in a desert can linger on the description of the Moors. But then windy, these deserts are not good if it gets windy. So um, what did I want to say? Uh, huh. This is about Catherine Earnshaw, played by Margot Robbie. Her spirits were always at high water mark, her tongue always going, singing, laughing, and plaguing everybody who would not do the same. A wild, wicked slip she was, but she had the bonniest eye, the sweetest smile, and lightest foot in the parish. And this is a beautiful description. So she aptly portrayed all that. Yeah, the heroine. And Heathcliff, of course, was dark and brooding, with a dark brooding passion. And he was with the long hair, he was even more dark and brooding. But looked well, but the shorn locks, he looked you know, more gentlemanly, so to speak, for somebody. I won't spoil the script for you. All right, more from the movie, more from the watch the movie. Edgar Litton, Nelly, what did I want to see here? All right, here it is. For my love for Linton is like the foliage in the woods. Time will change it. I'm well aware, as winter changes the trees. My love for Heathcliff resembles the eternal rocks beneath. Beneath, a source of little visible delight, but necessary. So that I thought you should, be a party, to be read. I should be read to you, and then. All right. This is to Isabella. She wants in the movie, she wants Isabella, who is Edgar Linton's ward in the movie, but his sister in the book. And there's a brother as well. Catherine has a brother, less on the father. The father dies in the beginning in the book. But the different, cinema, less characters. It's easier to portray because, bring in more characters. And as it is, it's a 2 hour, 16 minutes long movie. I wouldn't be you for a kingdom then, Catherine declared emphatically, and seemed to speak sincerely. Nelly, help me to convince her of her madness. Tell her what Heathcliff is, an unreclaimed creature without refinement, without cultivation, an arid wilderness of fir and whipstone. I would as soon put that little canary into the park on a winter's day as recommended you to bestow your heart on him as recommend you to bestow your heart on him. It is deplorable ignorance of his character, child, and nothing else, which makes the dream enter your head. Pray don't imagine that he concealed depths of benevolence and affection beneath a stern exterior. He's not a rough diamond, a pearl containing oyster, or a rustic. He's a fierce, pitiless, wolfish man. I never say to him, let this or the enemy alone, because it would be ungenerous or cruel to harm them. I say, let them alone, because I should have them to be wrong. I should hate them to be wrong. It's a yellowed book. Look at the book, and the lighting is not very good. The sun is not shining. The sun, there's a lab description about the Moors, but I do not want to read it. Those of you in Arizona should read it. Something about the sunshine and the lack of it on the English Moors. All right. So I don't want to read it. All right. So those were only the excerpts, I think. That there's in the end there's um I had one more that's come off about the two of them. Maybe that can be an exercise to those of you who are in the liberal arts, just for fun. The how maybe it's in the ending, the way the ending. All right. I saw it and soon discovered the three headstones on the slope next to the moon, the middle one grey and half buried in heath. Edgar Linton's only harmonized with the turf and moss creeping up its foot. Heathcliff still bed. Um, so the half-buried one in Heath is Catherine's. So to till the end, she, as in her grave as well, which is a beautiful description. She is buried in Heath. He, you know, I always thought it was Heather, Heather as in the name, but Heather maybe in the British circles because it's Heathcliff, and Edgar Linton's only harmonized with the turf and moss, creeping up its foot. Heathcliff still bed. Nothing on Heathcliff's. He died of grief. Died of grief. So that was what I wanted to say. There's more in the book, the how the two of them are alike in a way because they like the Moors and etc. But I will let you enjoy it on your own. All right. Signing off, Gayatri Visita.